pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we're going to go down to item number 7. We've got a public hearing scheduled to revise the plat of lots 1A, 2A, and 3A Mobile Home Village, Harper Road Estates subdivision, and that's in precinct 2. If there's anyone here to speak to that particular application, we'll entertain your comments. If you would, just identify yourself for the record, and if you would keep your comments brief, we'd appreciate that. Anybody here to speak to that particular application? Okay, no one. We're going to close the public hearing. We'll move right into item number 8, which is to consider approval of the application to revise the plat of lots 1A, 2A, and 3A Mobile Home Village, Harper Road Estates in precinct 2. Keith, this is yours. It looked like they were just combining 3 lots into 2, making 2 larger lots. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Pretty simple and straightforward.
Everything looks okay with you and Wayne?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I looked at it briefly this morning too. I didn't see anything.
With that being said, I move we approve our replat of lot 1A, 2A, 3A Mobile Home Village, Harper Road Estates.
Second.
Okay, any questions or discussion on it? Not all in favor of approving that application for the replat, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Number 9, to consider rescheduling the May 25th Commissioners Court meeting. The 25th falls on that Monday that when we observe the Memorial Day holiday, and so the courthouse will be closed. So we just need to reschedule that meeting for another date. I don't know if you all have a preference. If you want to do it that week before, or if you want to do it sometime during the week of.
It works better for the auditor to win, doesn't matter. Before or later.
Have a preference if we do it the week before, or?
We can do what, Thursday or Friday? 21st or 22nd?
21st or 22nd, yeah.
Everybody open?
I'm open.
Good.
How about the 22nd?
You got it.
I make the motion that we move the meeting to May 22nd, Friday, 9 a.m. courthouse.
Second.
Questions or discussion? All in favor of moving the meeting to Friday, May 22nd at 9 a.m., say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Number 10, to consider approval of the subscription and installation of one additional DMS3 license in the elections department. Nisa, tell us what that is.
Yes, sir. We're scanning our voter records, but down the road, we will be able to get rid of the paper record. It will be much further down the road, but in order to do that, I'd like to I've got 3 other people helping me scan my temps, but unfortunately, from an audit standpoint, I really need to have one per person, so I'm just going to limit it down to 1. And 3 of us will be scanning these entries off here. We figure we can get a lot of scanning done. So for that reason, we need another license.
And how, that license is how much?
The initial cost is $2 $2,959.60. It would be an annual of $600. And spoke to someone in the auditor's office. I do have a budget for it. I just need to do a line item adjustment. And they seem to be on board with that.
I'll move we approve.
Second.
Questions or discussion? All in favor of approval, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Number 11, to consider hiring patrol deputy in the sheriff's office.
Yes, I have a vacancy that I'm going to be filling with an experienced deputy, Michael Simon, S-I-M-O-N. He'll be coming to us here around the 18th at a rate of $25.91.
I'll move we approve.
Second.
Questions? All in favor of approval, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And number 12, to consider approval of accepting a donation of Blackhawk load-bearing tactical suspenders in the sheriff's office.
Yes, this is, we have an anonymous donor that has come to the office and would like to donate some of these to our officers. It's a tactical type suspender that goes over your shoulder, attaches to the duty belt for long extended periods of time when they're wearing them. It's a load-bearing deal to try to help save some of their backs and back strength from that. And as you know, I had to bring donations to the court here for acceptance before accepting them, so that's what I'm here today for.
What's the value of them?
$35 to $40-something a piece. Yeah.
I'll move we approve.
Are they, okay, go ahead.
Second.
Question or discussion? Are they donating the actual suspenders or the money to buy the?
No, the suspenders themselves.
And so how many were they?
In the box, I believe there were 15 or 17 of them. I didn't count them this morning when I took off. I think there was 15 or 17 that they were proposing to send to us.
Any other questions or discussion on it? All in favor of approving that donation, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Alright. And number 13, to consider selling a seized vehicle on Gov Deals.
Yes, we actually have a seized vehicle that's gone through the entire process of the court system. So we're moving to sell that seized vehicle, and we always come in and let you know that we're going to be putting it on Gov Deals to sell that.
Move we approve.
Second.
Questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 14, to consider a pay rate change for a jailer in the sheriff's office.
Yes, we have a jailer that has been there for an extended period of time that I'd like to move up to the experienced rate. He's been doing a fantastic job for us. Jeremiah Parker. I'd like to move him to that experience rate of $18.66.
So move.
Second.
That's effective when?
This pay period.
Any other questions or discussion? All in favor of approval, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, 15, to consider changes to salaries in the sheriff's office.
Yes, I'm going to table that agenda item at this time.
Okay. All right, no action. Okay,
Thank y'all.
Sheriff.
Appreciate it.
16, to consider approval of purchase of 29-inch road widener from Bunnell Industries, Precinct 1.
Yes, KT and the guys and I went and watched TxDOT the other day,
It's a widener that cuts, it goes on the edge of the maintainer blade, and it cuts a smooth edge and then digs a bed for repairing shoulders. It's to where it does a better job and much quicker. You go in there and it digs a little bed, and then you can go in real easy with your premix, blade it, and roll it. It worked real well out on 965 North where we saw it being demonstrated, and I thought it might be a good addition. I purchased it, and if anybody needs it in the county, if it works as well as we think it will, it's more than game to it. It's freight in and everything is $3,015.26. And I would move we approve.
Second.
Questions or discussion? All in favor of approval, say aye. Any opposed? Okay. 17, to review the current county operating procedures and consider taking appropriate action to continue or modify those procedures. We talked about this a little in the past. Just need to talk about it some more. I'm assuming that we're going to be reopening our access to the public in the near future. I'm not exactly sure when we're going to do that, but we just need to talk a little bit about the process in anticipation of that. I don't know. I know that there was some discussion on our listserv the last couple of weeks about counties that opened their doors. Some of them never closed their doors, but some of them have been starting to open up again. I don't know what y'all's feeling is. I know Donnie has talked with the library in some detail about, once we open, about what procedures they might be able to use.
Correct. I think we've talked about that some in the past, but, we can go in more detail. I think our biggest, I think the tax assessor office is going to be flooded with people probably when we open, as the clerk's office probably. And then, of course, the library too. I think we need to take, baby steps to open. It's easier to increase availability than to start on top and go down. So I don't know how and when we want to start this. I think, with everybody opening, a lot of people opening out in the business world and so forth, I think we need to probably look toward a target date to do this. I'm not sure when we want to do it, but we need to be prepared the first day we open up the doors that we're ready to go. And we'll have to have, we should have the elected officials' input and department heads and how it would affect their office and any recommendations they might have. And they know better than anybody else of how the office needs to run. And that'll be, we need to have their input from everybody to see how we can get this accomplished. It's just a matter, I think we need to have some kind of a timeline that we shoot for and everybody can get ready for it. And if we have to have a special meeting, we can do that, or whatever it takes to just kind of ease into it and go from there. I think John Sansted's made some good progress with plexiglass shields and so forth. I know that Annex 1 has had some concerns about their shielding, and I think he went over there, is going to go over there and is going to talk to the clerks, because they have sliding windows, I think, over there, rather than he was saying plexiglass is hard to find now too, and try to see what we can do over there. They were so concerned about the sliding glass windows instead of having maybe had more of a barrier like they have here for the courthouse. So he was going to check that out. I think, Vicki, y'all have all the plexiglass up? And
yes, we do. And the girls are very pleased with it. It looks nice, and they've got the shield in front of them.
I know it's up at the library also, it's on the counter. That's ready to go over there, but we just have to figure out, I think,
Don't have it up to Mary Lynn?
Yeah, but he's gonna put it in two more places, between, back there where the Felicia is, to protect them.
and then I think at the ag building, I don't think they're going to, I don't think they have any shields up. I don't know whether they went any or not out of the ag life. But I don't think their walk-in customers are a whole lot over there.
No, and they have a lot more room to deal with too.
Yeah, they have a lot more open space. So I think, you know, there's been a lot of measures taken already to look toward the opening of some of our facilities here.
I think we probably also need to get John and his bunch to maybe put some tape down on the floors, you know, outside those offices, like outside the tax office for the 6-foot spacing, so people aren't just standing right on top of each other in line.
We were wondering whether we would do our line this way out the front door, or are you gonna just limit it to one door open, or just?
Well,
That's up to you, I
That's
think.
something we need to talk about too, and we haven't decided if we're gonna open all the doors, and I agree with Donnie, it's easier to take small steps and increase it than to just open everything at one time and then all of a sudden we restrict it again. So we may just open one or two of the doors at first, and try to control that access a little bit.
No, Mary did said she had one, two, and her line would go this way, and ours would go this way, we could probably keep us apart.
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking too, that yours would come down that hallway and towards the front door, and Mary Lynn would go down that hallway down towards the vending machines and stuff.
If you would initially start with one door, it would have to be the handicap access down the basement,
Yeah, I know.
or that one has to be for sure.
That's something we just need to talk about.
Yeah.
And we'll also need to talk about whether or not we're, you know, we think it's important to have, and I don't know if we'd even have enough, I don't know that Carl can do it all, but, you know, if we want to try to take people's temperature before they come into the building, or if we're gonna make people wear some kind of facial covering before they come in. I don't really know that we want to require all the employees to do that because they get awful hot. You know, you could, and that's kind of up to the elected officials and the department heads. If we don't require it, you know, I would strongly suggest that at least if they're out here in the open areas where there are members of the public, that they might wear masks in those public areas. But I don't know if you feel, how strongly you all feel about them wearing them while they're in their in the office. You know.
I think it's a good idea for the customers to come in and wear face masks. I like that idea.
Then you get into, you know, if they're not aware of it, are you gonna have them to provide them with it? Or you turn them away and you say you gotta get a face covering? Those are just things we'll have to talk about.
Well, I think what's gonna happen typically is most people are gonna come up here without a face mask
I
on.
think that's right. I was amazed yesterday, we went to HEB and there were very few that were wearing any kind of covering. It was basically like it was business as usual.
You know, like in the big cities, you see a lot of people wearing them, at least the ones that are on TV. But around here, I haven't seen that many.
Been very minimal. If you drove down Main Street, very few people had anything.
And so I don't know if you're gonna require visitors, customers in the courthouse to wear them, How you gonna enforce,
That's.
how you gonna enforce that?
A
Without,
week or two ago, when we went to HEB, a lot of people were wearing them, and yesterday, very few were. So it's almost like they've already forgotten about it, and
well, that's typical, you know, as time goes on, it's just gonna kind of wear off, like it's going away. Well, it's not, it hasn't gone away, you know, and it doesn't take long to get something going somewhere.
Well, they did some group testing with quite a few folks. Do we know the overall data of that?
the one that the military did
Yes.
last week.
According to 60 Minutes last weekend, Texas is one of the hot spots now. We're on the upswing.
Whatever we do, we have to still take it very serious. I mean, it's here, around, and we need to be really careful, I think, of well, how we open and what we need to do for ourselves, our employees, and those that enter the courthouse.
Yeah. I don't know, has there been anything on your listserv about how county are opening, or if they've been opening?
I haven't seen anything
Haven't seen
on the
anything.
listserv about that.
We've had a few,
And, you know, I think people have been pretty patient, the folks have been pretty patient with us so far. I think it's worked.
but, yeah,
It's worked fairly well, but it's one of those things that if you don't have a game plan of when to reopen, it's gonna be, you know, people need to do some business.
well, and, I mean, that's the thing, you know, a lot of the businesses are open, and we're still closed. Apparently, Andy transferred someone that was kinda hot last week and left a message on my phone, that I haven't listened to it yet, but she said he was pretty upset about the fact that we're still closed.
Well, and then I think too, if you open up, I mean, there's a lot of businesses that are open, but they have the limited, or where you just let so many people in.
Yeah, well,
And that,
supposedly.
well, yeah, but how do you control that? Well, I guess you could here.
Well, and we could do that here too. Might be a little bit difficult to do again, we just don't have that, you know, Carl can't do it all.
Group of department heads, and you and Donnie were, y'all, that little force y'all had beforehand, and discuss it and kind of knock out the general consensus and
What I like to do is just hear from all, you know, hear from all the department heads and all the elected officials that, and kind of propose a plan of how they would like to see their office open. You know, I think that would be and I think they could bring that to that committee maybe or whatever.
Yeah.
And we could go over all the proposals, because I think we're all in this together, and we need to figure out how best to, we have to open again fairly soon, I think. And we need
Closed
to,
a long time.
we need to make it to where it's efficient and where it makes sense and safe, or as safe as possible with everybody's input, you know.
that's what I'm saying, because those three commissioners were not on that, but ours has been going business as usual. So if y'all could do, or two of us could get with that group and see what their departments would like to do, and see if we can make that work.
And I think it would make perfect sense to have that little group that we had to meet and give our department heads, you know, a few days or whatever to come up with a plan, and then we can meet and look at it, and then we have to call a special meeting, Commissioners Court, you know, then go move forward. That'd be my recommendation.
I think that's a pretty good plan.
And I'm assuming that Vicki and Mary Lynn and all of y'all have been kind of thinking about it all along, but so you probably have some ideas. It wouldn't take long to get that input from the elected officials and department heads, I wouldn't think.
No, I don't, no, we had it for the library, and that's one of the big ones, is the library. We have those recommendations, and then, Annex 1, we have to get from the JPs, and then the other department heads. But there's some that really aren't affected a lot. They don't have a lot of public interaction, like the folks here at the courthouse do, and at Annex 1.
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of it's gonna be, these department heads probably have a pretty good, they have shields in place and they're kind of implemented. It'd be easier for them to handle the traffic inside. I think the worst is gonna be the traffic in the hallways.
Yeah.
Because there's gonna be a lot, when you open it up, I mean, I've had 4 or 5 phone calls with people that are saying, when are y'all gonna open up? I need my license plates, or I need, and I think we're gonna be flooded in the hallways with people that want to.
Well, and that's the thing, we may end up having to get Carl to keep some people outside, because we're still gonna have to try to observe that 6-foot social distancing even while we're trying to do that. And that's a little bit difficult to do sometimes.
I think we will have to establish, how many people can come in, and then you have to wait outside. Just you can ask Carl about that, about trying to get a haircut Saturday or something in Kerrville. He had to wait out on the street for like an hour, before you get in. That's just a sign of the time. I mean, that's just what we have to do. I can, once we notify the public that we are open, we're gonna probably be flooded at the first few days with people wanting to catch up on their registrations and license plates and all that other kind of stuff. And we just need to make sure that we don't have overcrowding condition here in the hallways.
Yeah.
Keith was saying.
I believe the exemption on the license plate registration is still in effect, correct? That has not been.
The state lifts all of the sanctions, you have 60 days after that date to get everything done.
After
After the sanctions are lifted,
okay.
you have 60 days to get everything done without penalty. They won't give you a ticket, put it that way.
I imagine one of the biggest problems we have is title transfer, is that, because they have to actually be here in person.
Yeah. There's too many variables, and most of the time when they come in, they don't have everything they need, and then they have to come back. And, some of them we can do right away, but a lot of them are missing paperwork and have to get insurance or whatever. Didn't get signatures where they were supposed to be, so it would be, for us to accept them in the mail, it would be too inconvenient. So those are in-person transactions. And most of the counties are doing that. We've got 59 counties, tax assessors that are open to the public, with the limited COVID stuff. We've got 5 that are completely closed, and 190 that are like us, closed to the public, but doing stuff in the mail. That was as of Friday. There's still a lot of them out there that are closed. They're working to, a lot of them like us, we're trying to get protection in place, plexiglass dividers and stuff, trying to retrofit their offices so that they can wait on people. And they've all got the same problems. The bigger counties have huge lobbies, well, they can't have all those people in there, so they're gonna have to do the same thing, either social distancing in there or something. offices where there's only one or two people. They've been alternating people in the office, so if one of them gets sick and the other one gets sick, then they're dead in the water right away.
I would think the busiest office would probably be yours.
And the girls are concerned about when we first open up, they're concerned that it's gonna be a crazy rush. And so we're gonna have to be,
Well, that's why I think we have to limit access.
mindful of the social distancing stuff.
So Sheriff, I mean, if we did do that, do you have a part-timer we could possibly bring on to help in the courthouse for a week?
Currently, no. Don't have one. But Carl's here.
Yeah, but I was wondering if there's another part-timer that,
But with some of the important stuff going on, there might be one that it's not going on, it might be a full one in for that.
I mean, because I think we'll all agree that the first week may be a booger. And
Well, like if Carter's not doing a bunch of transfers of prisoners, maybe he could,
You
That's-
might be able to come in, just gonna do something as simple as, there's 30 people allowed in the courthouse at any given time. And you got 2 doors open, then that could just be the thing, hey, I got 3 more just left, and so you let 3 more in, or vice versa, or something like that. If you have 2 doors open, you have one in each door there to just keep, tally on if there's 30 or 40, however many people you want to allow in here. And as soon as 2 of them leave, well, 2 more can come in. So the earlier you get here, the quicker you'll be able to get something done. And we could possibly probably do something like that.
that's what I'm
If you
thinking.
got 2 doors open.
Correct.
Well, the problem is you have, like Charles said, you have to have a handicap accessibility, and that's downstairs.
Yeah, they got a cross right back here. Well, no, I guess they go pretty well into that.
I mean, it'd be nice if you designate one door for, say for instance, the front door of the courthouse for tax assessor's office, and then you have a line where they can go
yeah, but
that
there may
way.
be some that need to get in the handicap
Unless you'd have something
door to
where
get to the,
you had a handicap accessible number you could call to let them in, or,
But I mean, bringing them in that handicap entrance would be good because it does have the little snake trail to where, but then there's not, they have to go out that way and you almost need an exit for them.
yeah.
Because that would be even pre-line them up. You could line them up down there pretty easily, but then you need an
There's
exit.
no way to fix the door so it could be an exit only temporarily. If it could come, like for us, come in the front door and then exit out the side door.
yeah, but then you have to have somebody monitoring that too.
And now we're talking about 3 doors.
Yeah. And if it's open, they're gonna come in. You can try to get them to go back out. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Unless it's one of the deputies that's carrying a gun, they're not gonna do it.
And we do also have to,
That's a difficult thing, and maybe something to visit about is that it's open, 8 to 10, then maybe 11 to noon or something, in case there's too many people coming in. You run down there and lock the door up for a second, put a little note on there, temporarily. And then as soon as the people move out, then you go back down here and unlock the door, let a few more in. That's kind of something that we have to discuss and talk about, is we don't have a problem.
and we do have the constables we can bring in too to help with that as well.
I think that's all those ideas we need to kind of just discuss it in that little committee group, and come up with the different options to bring it before the court and decide what direction that we want to go.
There's not gonna be a perfect one, but we have to find the best one.
Yep.
Let's go with it.
What if you did like, the morning, like 8 to 12, you could have the tax assessor's office open to the public, and afternoons do the clerk's office. Then you only have one group coming.
Well,
I think that's gonna get confusing for
they'll
the
get
public.
confused of when they're supposed to be here, I think.
Was all of them.
Yeah.
I think the least confusing would be if we allow so many people in the courthouse, and once we get to that capacity, then people just have to wait outside until 3 leave and 3 come back in. And wherever the business happens to be, then they're at the courthouse and can do it.
And they're used to that methodology at H-E-B and Walmart. They've both done that.
Yeah,
How
well,
long
but
does it take to register your vehicle anyway out down there now? 5
Max 10 minutes.
10 minutes, so
Title work, anywhere from an hour to 3 hours, depends.
Well-
Titles take a long time. So,
knows that to be done in person.
yeah. Parks and Wildlife isn't open at all yet. We had some call about low titles, and we don't do it, we're not doing it now. So they were given a number from Parks and Wildlife, and he called back and said, well, they're 2 months behind, so he's not gonna get it there either. It's just gonna be a work through process.
Did the governors extend to the voter registration also? And they do that on that too.
The registration, they can do just like car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think to move forward is, yeah, get into that little committee and make a suggestion.
yeah, we probably should meet pretty quick,
Yeah,
like this week,
yeah.
and then, see where we go from there.
Okay. Anything else on that one right now? All right, then I guess we're ready to pay some bills.
Thank you, Neil. You have a good day.
Yeah, you too.
See ya.
Kenzie?
There's no additions or, I move we approve our bills and claims and payments via electronic fund transfer.
Second.
Questions? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Journal entries and amendments.
Yes, sir. We have 4 journal entries and 2 budget amendments. Journal entry 20.11 reclassifies a travel expense from dues to conference travel expense for the Veterans Service Office. And journal entry 20.12 reclassifies Indeed.com advertising expense from other professional services to ads and legal notices to the Communication Center. Journal entry 20.13 reclassifies county clerk charges for services to planning clerk charges for services archive fee. And journal entry 20.14 reclassifies the monthly radio service charge from the county attorney's office to the sheriff's office. And the first budget amendment is BA 20.04. And that adjusts the line item budget amounts of the elections department for 1 additional business solutions license by increasing the line item for other repair and maintenance supplies and decreasing the line item for office supplies. And budget amendment BA 20.05 adjusts the line item budget amounts of the elections department to increase the line item for hourly temporary employees and decreasing the line item for hourly full-time employees. And none of these will affect the overall adopted budget for fiscal year 2020.
I move we approve our journal entries and budget amendments.
Second.
Questions? All in favor of approval, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Payroll claims and expenses.
I move we approve our payroll claims and related expenses.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All Departmental reports and fees of office.
I move we approve our departmental reports and fees of office.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Guess we are done.
Dennis?
Just that one?
Yes.